Hey everybody, thanks so much for being on today. And I know a lot of you have been asking me questions about my profile picture and the countdown I had going on, my timeline. So what I wanted to do was explain a little bit about what's been going on, because I felt like it was time that I came clean about some things that are going on in my life and with Beachbody and all of those things. So what I wanted to talk about was the fact that I've decided after almost 5 years with Beachbody that I'm going to transition into another company. And it's not because I haven't had a wonderful experience with them, because I have. It's been great. I was able to leave my full-time job and replace my income with them. But, things change, and I wanted to explore another option. And I've been researching it now for the last few months, and I've been part of the business school that's associated with this company. And I just think that it's something that as a health professional, I have to always bring what is most current and what is best to the population. So with that, I am going to bring on Rick Gutman, and he actually, I came across him in my newsfeed about, 5 or 6 months ago, and I just was really inspired by the way that he would talk about network marketing, how he would talk about a trend market, business in general, and I reached out to him and thanked him for inspiring me, and he was actually helping me with my Beachbody business at the time, because what had kind of happened was in my fourth year, my income had started to kind of level out, and everything that I seemed to be doing wasn't working. The duplication just wasn't happening, and I just thought that it must be that I needed to work harder, that I had to attract better people. But what it came down to was I really didn't know how to attract the people that I needed to attract. And by talking to him, he was telling me a lot of things about business in general and how to attract people that would want to do this and who would really benefit from this, and how to approach them and all of that. So I really just knew that joining with him would be a good thing for me, because it felt like it would take me to a different level. And that's why I've decided to partner with a company that he is aligned with. It's called Paseo, and we're actually going to talk about it today. So just a little bit about Rick and why I wanted to bring him on today. He's been a multiple 7-figure earner in the network marketing industry for over 12 years. He started out as a small business owner. He's a contractor, and then he got into real estate in 1998. Did very well there. And then when he was at Robert Kiyosaki's book studies, and that's the author of the Rich Dad Poor Dad series, when he was working with him, he met a couple that was in network marketing and got involved with that, and quickly rose to the top of a company called Monavi. So he's done that, and then he transitioned into Visalis, built another multi-million-dollar business there, and now he's in with Paseo, which is a company that's only 17 months old. So he and I are going to talk today, and I think it's really important for everybody who's currently in an MLM, who might be struggling, and also just people in general who may own small businesses, who may be looking for additional income. This is going to be a good broadcast for you to watch, because I think it's going to be extremely educational about how this can benefit your life. So with that, I'm going to bring on Rick.
Hey.
Hello. How are you?
Good to see you. It's good to be here with you.
Yes, very good to be here. So I gave a little background about you, Rick, but what happened last week when you were doing a training, and I really decided to just come out and talk about this publicly, was because you were talking about how to transition with character and integrity from one company to another company. And it's not that I have been actually lacking integrity, but I figured it was important for people who may be struggling with that decision to know that there are those of us who are doing it, and we're doing it with character and integrity. And I know that for me, I didn't know when I wasn't even thinking about leaving, and then things just kind of changed in my business, and I really didn't know what to do. So when you and I were talking, and you were telling me about things like a trend market and telling me about how you transitioned from one company to another and how you did that, and kept your integrity along the way, I wanted to kind of talk about that today. So when is it time to leave a company?
Well, this is a good opportunity to talk like this. I think there's a lot of people that are out there that are struggling and they don't really. And I'm getting a lot of feedback. Hold on a second. I'm going to turn this back down.
Okay.
Try it now. So I think this is a very important conversation because there's a lot of people that find themselves in various companies and they're in love with the company, right? This industry is rich with culture and mentorship and relationships that are built.
Yeah.
And most of them are built around being positive and going after your dreams, and that's not what people get in their current careers. Most of the time they don't get it in their current jobs. So when they align themselves with a network marketing company, it's almost like they get back to the place where they knew that they were created to like go after their dreams, and it centers them. And then and some excel, some don't, but they like the community. And when a company begins to make decisions that are not in the way for the betterment of the distributors, and they have to take that long pause of, should I stay here? Should I look for something else? It's like breaking up with, your first love. You know what I mean? It's like getting a divorce. And they don't know quite where to see truth in all the emotions that they're feeling because it's so, because of the relationships that they've built and all that. And it's at that time, I think, that you have to really be rooted in truth. And the truth is, you're in business because you want to build a new life for yourself. You're in business because, especially in network marketing, because you want to have one that is home-based. You want more freedom in your time. You would love to make, an extra 5,000 a week or 5,000 a month or 50,000 a week, or wherever the industry can take you. I mean, we have people that make $1 million a month in this industry. So you have to remember that you are in business because you want to be profitable. Unless you're in it just to run it like a hobby, and I will tell you that hobbies cost you money. Hobbies take money out of your pocket. Solid business plans put money in your pocket. So you have to remind yourself of why I'm here. Why am I doing this? Okay? And nobody can make that decision for you. They don't pay your bills. And before I answer your question, I'm just going to continue to use this kind of as a teaching moment. And that is, it's at that time when you start showing signs that you're looking somewhere else, you'll have uplines and crossline, and people begin to call you a quitter. And I want to bring some truth to that, because most of the very successful people in the world, most of the people that have built $100 million companies, even $1 billion companies, they started multiple companies that failed before they really built something massive, before they really had absolute success. And so for that person, I would say you're in good company. The important part is for you not to quit on yourself, right? Your life path, your journey may, in whatever chapter you are in your journey, may mean that you cut your teeth with one company and you went to another company and learned a little bit more and went to another company, learned a little more, and the industry is quick to call you a jumper.
Right.
I'm going to tell you that I've never failed in this business ever. And it's because I'm rooted in business principles and real business acumen, right? Financial literacy. And it's not because that I'm so great, it's that I do genuinely love people and I love teaching. Okay? And and so that that when people say, "Oh yeah, when you've jumped, you jump 3 times and you're done." Not if you continue to teach and pour into people and bring them to a place where they can have success, right?
Yeah.
And so you're going to have people that are going to want to disparage your name because of that, and they don't know any better, and most of them are fearful because they're afraid you're going to gut the downline or take people or things like that. You know, I never did that. Have always built organically. Okay, I just continue to put out rich content where people feel like they've discovered me, and I know that I sound much different than everybody else because I really talk about big business and why it makes sense to a small business owner, even a big business owner. Um, with that being said, I want everyone to understand that it's okay, right? It's okay. This is very well could be part of your journey from chapter to chapter. You can
Right.
quit on a business. You cannot quit on yourself, right?
Right.
So how do you know when it's time to leave a company is when, there are many reasons. I mean, I could say one, if a company, decides to go direct, right? And it seemed like that happened in your case. Um, then what happens is it cripples your ability to turn a strong profit, right? Or to feed your family,
Right.
right? And that can be devastating. If your business gets cut by 30% or in half, and it makes other people frustrated and they start leaving um, in herds, that can devastate your income. And you can do everything you can to try to turn it around, but numbers don't lie. And I learned from Kiyosaki a long time ago that not to be emotionally attached to a business or a way of earning income. When you've done everything you could do to turn that around and it stops cash flowing, and you're going deeper and deeper in the red, then you need to make some decisions very quickly, or you're going to find yourself looking for a job,
Right.
right? Because numbers don't lie. From quarter to quarter, if they continue to plummet, then it becomes predictable that you can put a timeline to that and go, okay, 6 months from now, I'm gonna be in a bad situation. I need to look up. I need to see what else is out there. That's what entrepreneurs do. That's what strong business minds do. They're not moved by the emotion of that. They look at it through how it pencils out for their family, how it pencils out for their business. And many people have very strong names, and they've carved out a strong following in their niche, in their network marketing company. And even though your income may be devastated right now, for some of those people, I would say your name still has intangible value. You can go somewhere else and you can do it all over again. Okay, so there's hope for you. The other thing is that there are people in the downline as well that are not as fortunate as you. Maybe they stopped making money a long time ago,
Right.
and you're a leader. You had a team. You had a strong following, a strong community, strong organization. Excuse me. And um, those people that have been following you, they're holding on just because you're putting your stamp of approval on this company.
Right.
And you have to take your eyes off of what your income is right now and look at your team.
Mm-hmm.
Start thinking for your team. Are they slipping and falling? Are they going broke? And are you holding them back? After all, these people that are in your organization came in as a result of you saying yes, and they trust you, and they're looking up to you to lead them. And the watering hole dried up for them a long time ago. You're just starting to feel the effects of it, but the others, they stopped making a dime a long time ago, and they're still hopeful, and they're looking at you going, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? You're my coach, you're my mentor. And you have to understand that you have a duty and obligation and a responsibility to your team to help them, to help them go to a place where they can make a strong income, right?
Yeah.
And so um, those are the things that you don't see many seven-figure-a-year earners want to talk about. This is a hot tamale for most people. This is a hot potato for most people. They don't want to get into this subject, but this is real world business, and it needs to be talked about because there's a lot of people that are feeling undue guilt when they shouldn't have to. You're in business, you're in the marketplace. There's a daily fight for customers in our industry, in every industry. Okay, look at the fight between PCs and Macs, and the fight between every single customer base out there.
Right.
And you have to understand that um, it's going to be like that for a very long time. So you can't put that guilt on your downline, um, because they're trying to have a livelihood, and some of them have never had a livelihood like you have. Not you personally, but their leader. They want that, and they need the education, and they're not getting it, right? So you have to think about that. So when a company starts making decisions that take away from the field, then the entrepreneurs, the business-minded individuals, have to rethink that, because to me that's a hostile move.
Yeah.
If I was, I've worked in corporate before on that side of network marketing before, and corporate knows. They know when they make decisions that will take away from the downline and they do it anyway, that's a hostile move. That would be a hostile move for me and my family and my livelihood. Why should I feel guilty about not being loyal to you when you're not loyal to me? Okay? And that's just putting it in the right perspective, and the truth should be good enough.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I mean, and with me, it wasn't necessarily, and I talked about it with you too, that I didn't think it was the vehicle that I was in. I remember saying that to you. I said, I don't really think it's the vehicle. I think it's me. I think it's that I'm not getting the duplication that I need to get. And but then you talked about the idea of a trend market and how it's important to kind of get in either before or right in the beginning of a new trend. And if you could share a little bit about that and why maybe transitioning into a company that is about to explode like ours is a good thing to do at this point in time.
Well, yeah, I mean the trend. Whoa. Go down very well.
Having a tough time today.
So I know I'm trying to get the right lighting and everything, but so the trend is your friend, right? I learned that from sitting at the feet of so many mentors in life. And so there's a 1 to 3 year trend in any business most of the time, especially in the network marketing industry, where you can really position yourself into being one of the pioneers of the company, having a voice. If you look at some of the top producers of the company that you're leaving, many of them were founders of that company. Okay, and they made substantial income, seven-figure-a-year incomes, as a result of two things. Not just because they got in the beginning, okay, because they built a following, because they took their business serious, because they looked at it like they had $1 million opportunity, and they began to pour into people and teach people and become very visual. So they earned it. I don't like it when people that don't know much about this industry say, "Oh, it's only because they're at the top." You have to build your way to the top. Okay, and you have to have a strong ethic. This isn't an easy business. It can be when you have the right type of education. So, but that's certainly not everything. So the people that were the founders of your company, they've earned their position. So I don't ever want to minimize that. But you do get to take advantage of the sweet spot, when you get in, because timing is not everything, but it's definitely a variable. So when you get in early in a company and you come in with that work ethic and that following and that drive, and you build people, right? I build the person builds the business. That's why I've been successful. When you come in the beginning of a company that has the ability to become $1 billion company or be a legacy company, which is very hard to find. When those two line up, then you can rip the cover off the ball. I mean, you can have an unlimited income for many, many years or the rest of your life. I mean, look at some of the people that got involved in Amway, in the very beginning. I mean, one guy still makes $1 million a week. A week. Okay, so there's something to be said about being there in the very beginning with a company that has the ability to really, really do well. Sorry, crow above me. Just left.
That's okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so getting involved in a company like that can be critical to your success. Okay, and so there are things that you look for in a company like that too, right? Um, I'm fascinated by the way the world of business is going right now, because like I learned a couple of months ago that the Fortune 500 companies 30 years ago, 80% of them were hard assets, brick and mortar, um, equipment, locations, things like that, manufacturing, factories, all of that. And now here we are 30 years later, and 80% of all the Fortune 500 companies are making their income through intangible assets, meaning online, digital marketing, information, products and services. I mean, look at Uber, 40 to 60 billion dollar a year company. They don't own one car. Airbnb doesn't own any hotels, or any real estate. Amazon is now, could very well end up becoming our first $1 trillion company, and they don't own any department stores. All three of those are big disruptors in the marketplace. They've disrupted the taxi industry. They've disrupted the hotel industry. They've disrupted the department store industry, and it's having an adverse effect on those other companies because it is relevant to the world we live in through technology. Right? I mean, the whole world is in your phone. Look how you and I are having a conversation right now, and people are watching, and you're on one coast, I'm on the other. Okay, so this is a wonderful time for you to do big business around the world. And our company, Paseo, is really at the very beginning stages of completely disrupting the supplement industry because of our liposome technology. For you to be able to absorb 90% of wellness products versus 15% is a complete disruption, And we did 49 million our very first 11 months. We're only 17 months old right now, and we're already in 12 countries. So imagine if for the person that's out there that's never had success before, if they were to get involved and get educated and get involved in our business school, our Overcome Nation business school, or imagine the person that has built a name for themselves out there, and they want a safe place to bring their team where they can really be educated and learn the real financial literacy that they would learn from my business school, Overcome Nation, and it's free for my team. Imagine how much stronger of an organization you can build if you align yourself with the timing of that, right? We have amazing products. We're in multiple billion-dollar markets. We have an amazing culture. We have an amazing cause. We have the most aggressive compensation plan I've ever seen, paying out 67%. Look at our packaging; it is beautiful. Our shipping, our customer service is phenomenal. Our websites are beautiful. The communication from corporate to the field is really strong, something that's lacking right now in the company you're coming out of. There seems to be a disregard for the field members out there. Otherwise, they never would have gone direct in many ways and affected those checks. And I know it may seem like I'm disparaging, but I'm not. What I'm trying to do is just speak truth. This is the truth that everybody's thinking about, but they're not saying it. And you need to. This is about your livelihood.
Right.
Even if you were once a 7-figure a year earner in a company, and it continues to take off like that and diminish like that, you're not going to be making 7 figures much longer. It'll go to 500, it'll go to 250, and you'll be down to $1,000 a week. Going, man, why didn't I leave 2 years ago? Okay, I've seen that happen 100 times. And hey, it happens. It's called business. This isn't disparagement. It's called business. It happens in companies. I've
Right.
seen that. I've experienced it before. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to talk like this.
Right.
We'll talk with truth, because at the end of the day, we're talking about people. We're talking about people. These are the downlines that really love and trust you. You have, if you know more than your downline does, you have to look out for them.
Right. And that was
And
a lot
that's
of
the
the reason
difference.
why I decided to really just come out and talk about it, was because I wanted a safe place in case anyone that I made connections with in my network throughout my time with Beachbody and everybody that I had built, all those relationships that I built, I feel like it's a disservice if I'm not at least educating about what is out there if someone is looking, you know?
Yes.
And I have not gone to my downline throughout my whole research with this, throughout starting with this AO. I have not done anything inappropriate to where I've talked to anyone in Beachbody or, or any of my customers even. I have not, tried to cross sponsor, all that kind of stuff. I have not tried to poach or do anything like that because it's just not the way that I run. But I also was kind of waiting because I wanted to see how this was going to pan out with me personally before I even brought it to my network. I wanted to see how everything was in terms of the company, the leadership. Um, did I feel comfortable? Did I feel safe going there with how things were going to be progressing with the products? Were the products legitimate? All of those things. And that takes time. When you're transitioning, I think, from one company to another, you really want to make sure, especially if you've had an overall good experience with a company, you want to make sure when you leave that you're leaving for something that's going to actually take you to the next level rather than just be, like you were talking about, just that jumper, right? So I think that this company is just adding to my growth. It's like the next step in my career in network marketing, simply because of the leadership, but also because of our business school. I think that is a huge thing for me, especially because many people struggle with the duplication in their downlines, and being part of the business school and having that there as something to leverage with people when you bring them on and say, look, you're going to learn the business, not just the business, but you're going to learn overall financial literacy, business acumen, so that you can approach someone in small business and feel comfortable having a conversation with them and really understanding the business model of internet marketing and presenting it confidently. Because, like you always say, in order to really do well, you have to have entrepreneurial people in your downline. It's the employee mindset versus the CEO mindset. Well, how can you identify those people if you don't really understand what to look for, and then how to even approach them, right? So if you could talk a little bit about that with the business school and how that's different from any other company that's out there, that would be really good too.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like um, what we're doing in Overcome Nation is literally going to have a huge impact on the entire industry. I mean it with
Mm-hmm.
all my heart, because it's worked so well with me for
Mm-hmm.
with ease. And what I mean by that is, when you have the understand the language of business, the difference between traditional business and network marketing, and you can articulate it to the small business owner, the bigger business owner. Maybe they have 15 restaurants or 15 different locations of maybe Subway sandwich, you know, franchise, multiple businesses. Small business owners traditionally make money, but they don't make wealth, right? And that's really important. I teach people not to work for money, but to work for wealth, and then the definition of what that means, right? And talking about how to have a global business, a global distribution business without any trucks, with very little inventory, no warehouses, no employees, tax at the lowest percentage, and being able to expense things out and travel the world, and show people the difference between active income and residual income and passive income, and what that means and what it can mean in your financial statement, and showing them how to build a financial statement. Kiyosaki used to say that the report card of your life is not your degree. Your banker does not care what kind of degree you have. What he or she wants to see is your ability to understand and build something that with a with a great understanding of, or a critical understanding of, liabilities and assets. They see how what the risk you are on paper. Okay, so the report card of life is how well you understand financial statements. So I teach all of that, and all of this is free. And and the vehicle is Viseo, and I teach them how to build the nuts and bolts of how to build the business, the philosophy of the business, the statistics of this industry. It's important for people to understand that this is an industry that's not going away. Doing $250 billion a year around the world and paying out $250 million a day to people like you and I. And to be able to speak that with real understanding and leveraging systems, people can make money, systems create wealth. I teach all of that in the Overcome Nation Business School, and this is where it makes a difference, a huge difference. Because 98% of the people in this industry are all saying the same thing, all of them. And they're all using rah-rah, manipulation, hype, fear of missing out, because they don't know any better. They're not educated enough. And their upline is saying, well, if you start talking about too much business, you're not duplicatable. Well, you certainly are when it's backed by a school, right? Business, where you're getting educated 4 days a week for an hour a day. And you can learn no matter where you are in the world. You can learn and get understanding and take notes and let action be your coach. And to be able to apply that, and you learn by failing, these small failures and these obstacles that you overcome, you start learning the rigors of business. And as you start doing that more and more and more, you become more valuable to the marketplace, and your earning power gets stronger and stronger and stronger. That gives hope to the person out there that's never had success in network marketing. It gives hope to the person that's losing their business right now and they don't know how to educate their team. It gives hope because my retention is extremely high. It's normal. It runs anywhere from like 70% to, I've seen it as high as 94% in an industry where the average retention is 2 to 10. That's because we have the business school. People are learning and growing and gaining so much value they don't want to quit.
Right.
And that's like 10 to 18 times the industry average I'm experiencing in my organization. That's really powerful because of the business school. And so that's what people get when they come to our team, and they can't get that on any other team. They can't get that in any other company.
Well, it's true. I mean, I was in the best situation I could have been in my former team, and I have to tell you, I have to give you props for the business seminar last weekend or 2 weekends ago, because when you were explaining the binary and how to maximize it, that had never, all I kept thinking was, if I'd known that 5 years ago, if I'd known that 5 years ago, and that is so different because, I would basically, the way it's kind of taught is that you more lead with the product first. I think in most companies it's taught that way. And then, people are kind of scared to talk about the opportunity because, number one, they don't understand it. They don't understand the compensation plan and how it works. And then a lot of times they don't feel confident enough, even if they understand it, they don't feel confident enough to actually speak and present it and talk about it. So, that's two big things. But when you talk about how to maximize the comp plan, and you and Frank, you sat down and you really drew it all out and looked at everything, I just thought everybody needs to see this right now. Anybody in a binary needs to see this right now because, I had I known, I would have made a lot more money a lot more quickly in my previous company had I known that. So that's just a testament to what we have here.
Nuts and bolts are very, very important.
Yes.
I failed to finish my point that I got a little bit off track. I want to say this. So when you take that education that you're learning in Overcome Nation, where does it make a difference? It makes a difference when you're talking to somebody who has a very large network. It makes a difference when you talk to somebody who has a lot of influence, has a large following. Remember, your network is your net worth. It makes a difference when you're talking to somebody who has been a successful business owner for many years, has money but no time. And then you come to them with that language of understanding and that language of business, and you point out why it's better to build a cash flowing asset with Overcome Nation and Paseo versus the way they're building it now. Even when you're sitting down with real estate agents and real estate brokers, any entrepreneur, they know the language of business. So when you speak like that, you end up getting a person that has a large following, has a strong business ethic, and most of the time they come in and build a massive organization, you know. And to further my point is, let's just say that that person has the ability to earn a go black diamond, right, 2 to 3 million a year business. When they say yes to you, I mean, you just literally got the opportunity to build with somebody, and that's going to rip the cover off the ball in their organization, but it's also going to rip the cover off the ball in your organization too. You just made a couple of million yourself. So here's where you feel the loss of that. When you're like the 98% out there and you don't know what to say to them, you don't know how to talk to them, and you sound like everybody else and they say no to you, that's called an opportunity loss. That means you just lost 2 to 3 million. How many times do you want that to happen to you? Okay? So instead of swimming in the blood red water where all the sharks are and the 98% in this industry all saying the same thing that's been, quite frankly, such a turnoff to the world and was a turnoff to me, you get to take them to a whole new blue ocean of opportunity where there is no competition because you speak a language that others don't. That's when it makes a massive difference for you and the team you're creating or the team you already have. You know, you're a leader out there, and you every time you enroll people, 90 days later they're quitting. It's like, how many times you want to continue to build the same team over and over and over again? I mean, I like to say that's like shuffling chairs on the Titanic. You know, it gets exhausting. No leader wants to do that. And on my team, because of the school and because of the curriculum that we have and the education, they don't want to quit. So you get to build brick upon brick, you know, and you have more people that are staying and building than are leaving. That's the key to a very successful career, an extraordinary career in our industry.
So why do you think people should really seriously think about this right now in terms of where we were positioned and where we're going globally?
Well, you have an owner that has a multi-billion-dollar understanding of the marketplace. In since 2000 and since the year 2000, there's been over 42,000 network marketing companies that have been launched, and only 11 of them have ever done $1 billion a year in sales. 11, and he's helped do that twice in his career. So you do something once, it could be luck, it could be timing. You do it twice, it's definitely a skill. And then you do what we're doing right now, and it's becoming a habit. And to already be in 12 countries and be 17, 18 months old is really shows that they know what they're doing. So you want to align yourself with Paseo. You want to align yourself with this company. Most of all, you want to align yourself with our team, because we don't just use the system, we back the system with education. When there's education in a business school, time becomes your friend, not your enemy. Okay? When you only have a system and you don't have the educational part, people don't understand the power of that system, and they don't know what to say, so they get frustrated because they're receiving so many no's, so many rejections. Fear gets a hold of them and they want to quit. They don't feel themselves learning and growing, right? So you need that education, the real business education. I like to say my business, our Overcome Nation team, is growing like this: slow and stable, right? We don't do that. This is hype. This is manipulation. This is rah. This is emotionalism, and that's why you see paychecks that go high and low and high and low and high and low on our team, because education is really the mentor. People are growing and learning and becoming leader backed by leader backed by leader. this is what I want. I'm not in a rush. I'm going to build a big company in Viseo, right, through Overcome Nation. But this is what we want. This is what we all want. That means you hit rank and keep rank, go to the next rank, hit rank, keep rank. I don't care about being the fastest person to the highest rank. I don't care about other people on the team being the fastest in the team. That's not what we're looking for. You want to be able to depend on the income that you're making week after week and producing leader back by leader. You can only do that through the financial education. So that's why they should be here. There's no other place that I came out of retirement to be with Viseo and to work with Dallin and the corporate staff, and it's a safe place for my network, and their good names and their integrity and their character, people like you haven't been in a rush to leave your company. This was long, agonizing, for you. I understand that. That's why I never pushed you. I never tried to manipulate you or do that. You have to know when it's time, and when it's time, once you know that, it's time to go, and you got to get moving.
Right.
But sometimes it takes a long time, and I've watched you agonize over this. You're a person that has strong integrity and character, and was not an easy decision for you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. I mean, it was getting so difficult for me to, because it's kind of two different, completely different mindsets too. I mean, I was still, with my company, but learning a different mindset here. And I just kind of felt like, well, I can't really go all in and go for that, the new thing, if I'm still in the old mindset. And I really felt like I couldn't even apply the new mindset to the old company. That was the biggest thing for me. I didn't feel like the new mindset would apply to the old company.
Yeah, I can't. So completely
So
different culture.
yes. So, but I just want to thank you for coming on with me today and doing this with me. Yes, and so if anybody has any questions for me or for Rick, feel free to reach out. Um, and if you're a small business owner and you're looking for passive income, to help you out, and or if you are in another company right now and you don't feel like you're getting the education, just reach out to us, because I mean, I am an educator, so I can see when something is good and an experience is good. I can definitely back that, no problem. So,
Yes.
thank you, Rick, so much, and have a great rest of your day.
All right. You too.
All right,
Bye, everyone.
bye. So that was it, guys. That was Rick. That's what I've been working on. And I know it seemed a little kind of like, what's going on, But it does feel like a little bit of a loss, a huge loss in my life, because Beachbody has been a major, major part of me as a person. Helped me, through many, many times in my life. And I still am a huge advocate of the programs and the products. And I think that, I've helped so many people and they have helped so many people. And I had an amazing experience with my team over there. And that was the most agonizing part, was because I loved the people I was working with. And, but this is just a decision that I felt I needed to make. To further myself and my own growth, because change is good. It's hard. And usually what is hard is what the right thing is to do. So with that, if anyone has any questions about this or about the SEO and the products, they are amazing. They apply to a variety of populations. So we have something for weight loss. We have something for sleep, energy, neural activity, and for inflammation. So there have been amazing testimonies. Clinical studies have been done. I've done all the research, you guys, so it's a very safe place if you're looking to explore it. All right, so I hope everyone has an awesome rest of the day, and feel free to reach out. Okay, talk to you soon.